Okay, so quick update on the tools, just so everybody watching this can get a quick update. My ETA is actually next weekend for the arrival of that one final rod. I do have an imminent order for a 660 kit, and I will go over that now. And let me bring you up here. Okay, bring it up. Geez, not much battery left. Great. So, yeah. Tools update, ETA, next weekend. Pretty good on that's going to be the timing of it. I was really hoping it would be yesterday, but circumstances with my machinist, no, didn't happen. So, why is my phone being slow for YouTube? Come on. There we go. 6 people here. What a mess. Come on. There we go. 6 people here. What a mess. There we go. 6 people. I don't think I'm going to get very far with the bandsaw project, at least not right now. I got to cut some pieces. I have to think about it a little more. So it's coming. I mean, there's no question, but we have another project here. So okay, so tools update. I went over that this weekend. I have a 660 kit right now to package up. And what else? So we have Ken, we have Brandon, Ronnie Buck, Custom Cutter, and Jesse Grimm. Welcome. Who else is here? The Volvo runs, and I cannot repeat the problem. Long the story short of that was, right now I cannot repeat the issue that I had. It does not appear to be a fuel level problem. It's what I thought it was, and that's not how it looks. I brought it down to about a quarter tank, so I don't think the fuel level on the Volvo is the issue. Sample piece. Let's get... I got a kit going out tonight, a 660 kit. He just paid, so you're getting it. And forgive me, I forget who it was, but we're getting it. Here we go. Tim's here. 2-stroke Ryan Perry just got a Husky 395 out of his dealer's junk pile. Lucky him, huh? That's a pretty sweet deal. This is a 350, and Ken, I think you're gonna like what I'm doing here. This is for you, buddy. Okay. I got a junk 350 here that's in pieces, and I think we're just gonna piece this together because it was a carcass and a tank that I had sitting out in the shed anyway. So, Tim, how much did he pay for it? Probably like nothing, right? 50 bucks? Get a bunch of O-rings here. I want to try something. Anywho, let's get this cleaned up here and we can start working on this 350. So the other news, let's see, we actually have other news. So I got this 350 project. Again, it was just, the carcass was just sitting out in the shed, so I was placing an order with HL Supply anyway, so I figured I would order. They actually have a 346 XP clone cylinder that is really cheap. So I ordered it. We'll see how it is. I figured, let's play with it just for the hell of it. This saw is a play saw anyway. I've got an aftermarket riser block here, and these things don't even come tapped, so I'm going to have to tap that. I've got aftermarket crank seals. We'll try those and see if those are any good. Yeah. Let's get this tool packaged up first. Let me go get a large sleeve. Man, on this one, I hardly need to do anything. Eric's here. Matt's here. Just got a Pharmatech shipment Saturday parts to reveal my second 350. Sweet. I gotta find out who this is for. I gotta check my email. Hang on a second. I gotta find out who this is for, because somebody just bought this. Got PayPal. Brian W. bought this. So Brian, buddy, this is for you. And actually, I had the whole thing out here, so assuming these threads look good, yeah, that's fine. So that's a M12 by 1 left hand, and this is M10 by 1 right hand. So this makes up a 660 kit. Does it fit in here? Oh yeah. Does she go in? Yep. So literally, Brian W., your kit is right here. And I'm going to throw it in an envelope here, just add a little bit of protection. And then I'll actually reuse this envelope. By the way, I love reusing these things, so anybody that gets an envelope from me, you can absolutely reuse these. Oh, I forgot one thing, a sticker. I have to order more of those. One of these days. Stickers. Here's a sticker. I wonder how many people actually don't find the stickers. I don't go back. Here we go. Let's go back. Let's go back. Here we go. Bill Eddings. Oh, Bill made it. Okay, good. Are we live? Here we go. Hang on. I'm just trying to bring you up over here. Okay. Found you again. Chainsaw Fever. Yeah, I know. Ken, what carb is ideal for 346 XP? The original carbs are okay. The Walbro 159s, the Zama 18s and 32s. But if you want to upgrade, the upgrade is to either a Walbro 199 or any of those. I think 175, 191, 195, 98, and 199 are all the same in there, more or less. And I'm not absolutely positive, but best of luck finding the Volvo 199s. The easier thing to do is get an EL42 from Zama, which I think those are still available. But that's the 357, 359 carbs. So yeah, Bill, I wanted to go over what happened with the Volvo the other day. And because, you know, when I'm doing stuff, it just, I think you guys have noticed by now, nothing seems to go straight. It just, it's never a straightforward thing. So the overall thing with the Volvo is, I last got stranded with the Volvo at, literally at the steel dealer, which is only a few miles down the road. And the steel dealer, I was able to get towed home. But the symptoms, what actually happened was, let me throw this over here. I drove there fine. The car drove there fine. And when I went inside, I came out, I went to go start it, it cranked, it revved, and then it shut off. It cranked, it revved, and it shut off. And it just wouldn't stay running. So, okay, so I got it towed, brought it back here. That was months ago. That was before the winter. And I've been trying to figure out what exactly it was. It has a brand new fuel filter, has a brand new fuel pressure sensor, has a brand new crank position sensor. Because this is not the first time I've been stranded recently. Earlier in the year, May, June, somewhere around there, the car just suddenly lost power on the highway. And I could get it to crank, but it just wouldn't start and run reliably. And eventually, we put a little more gas in it. I got it to Dad's somehow, put some more gas in it, and got it to go. The symptoms at that time were, I was driving and it was as if somebody literally just killed the engine. Literally, it was as if somebody turned the key from the position 3, the on position, to like position 2, which has all the accessories, or whatever, position 1, whatever that is. So you go from 2 to 1, and it just killed the motor, but left all the other accessories on. It was as if there was a switch, bam, and it just died. So I was thinking fuel pressure sensor, crank position sensor may be faulty. I have not had that problem since, but I've had stumbling on start. It'll go rah, bump, and then turn it and rah, and then it runs. Even at that, I had run it around town a little bit. I finally ran it over to the dealer, and that's when it stranded me again. In this case, rah, bump, rah, bump. So, towed back here. Towed back here now. The guys told me that I needed to get the Volvo Diagnostics. So I got the Volvo Diagnostics tool. I actually went and bought a computer so I could run the software specifically with the Volvo Diagnostics tool, because it only takes Windows 7. It will not take Windows 10. I spent hours trying to get that thing to run. Didn't run. I don't have good diagnostics. I spent so much time on that stupid thing and so much money, and it's aggravating as all heck. So that didn't pan out. I can revisit it, but I'm afraid I'm just going to waste more time. So, okay, I tried. I figured the other day, I'm like, well, maybe it had something to do with the fuel level in the tank being down at half level or whatever. So I filled it up to like 3/4 of a tank. And the other day I jump-started it, and it ran fine. I know that I have a parasitic drain on the battery because the car doesn't, the batteries are almost down to nothing. And it's a brand new battery. So I jump-started it the other day, and it ran. I ran it for like an hour, idled fine. It only wanted to stall when the RPMs fell too low to support proper voltage. So I'm like, okay. probably just the battery issue, so it just needs to be ran a little bit more. So it was yesterday, went out and ran it, and it idled fine for like an hour, no problem. I ended up taking some gasoline out of the car just to see if it was a level issue. That's why I pulled that level, the level out, that part out. I pulled it down to like a quarter tank. Car still starts now and runs fine. So I don't know what the issue is. It might indeed be the fuel pump, but that's $350, $400, and quite a bit of a, it's a little bit of a job to tear that out. So that's where that's at. Eric Briggs, is there a throttle position sensor? I've had throttle position sensor issues before. Jesse seems to think it's electrical. It could be, it could be the alternator giving out. That's possible. Originally, we thought it was bad gas. We actually ended up putting some ethanol-free stuff in there. I don't know. I don't think it's bad fuel. It just, initially, the initial problem was it was as if somebody cut the motor. Tim, I heard you guys get wet, huh? We got nearly a foot of snow. Yeah, we 8 inches there, Ken. We got a little, probably a little more than that. Maybe 10, almost a foot. So I wonder, how hard would it be to get bearings into those tonight? Jesse, there is no fuel. There's no fuel pump relay. There's a fuel pump fuse, but there's no fuel pump relay. Edwin's here, late again. Jesse, I looked over all the relays, and maybe I'll take you guys out there and get you a picture of what relays are there, and it's nothing. Well, the relays don't control anything that could possibly shut the motor down. At least not the relays that I found. There's relays under the hood, and I guess there might be relays in the trunk, but I have not looked there yet. And we do have another project coming. It's called a 288 XP. So, no, at Custom Cutter, I do not have a way to check the fuel pressure. And no, these do not have bearings. I don't think you can buy the OEM seals without the bearings. I don't think you can buy them, but the aftermarket ones you can. For giggles, let me see if I have aftermarket bearings in the freezer. I might. this saw is not intended to be anything amazing. Do I really feel like putting Natchies in there? No. Now these have been in the freezer. I'm kind of wondering. Will they just drop in? The answer is no. They won't. Nope, that's not happening. So these need to be pressed in. Oh, use a good old-fashioned threaded rod. Why not? Let's set up something here to get this together. Have you checked all the grounds? I suppose the rough answer is no. But the wiring system on a 2004 Volvo is a little trickier than, you know, checking all the grounds, quote unquote, is a bit of a, I don't know. That's probably a lot easier said than done. Just a little bit of anti-seize here. Might make it a little smoother to press in. Getting these straight is very hard. Let's try that. Jesse, I agree with you that, you know, I'm probably missing something simple. I don't know, man. I tend to think I'm not completely inept when it comes to this stuff, but maybe I am. Just sometimes I'm just lost. And it could be the fuel pump, but why did it run like perfectly for an hour, you know? See, the rubber tends to smoosh when I do this. But it goes right back. Almost there. That's it. I don't know how it withstands it, but it does. There's one. How does a guy acquire one of your saws? I don't know. Ask. Tim, we might get a blizzard. Yes, we wiped before it's gone. Yeah. Sorry. I have to go back a bit. F-250 shut off last month, towed it home, changed the crank positions. It would start back to like running on 4 cylinders, pulled the passenger valve cover, plugged the under valve cover harness. Fuel pickup was full of trash. Yeah, it's very possible that the fuel pickup is buggered and is giving me intermittent problems. Could be as simple as that. But that involves $400 for a new fuel pump, and the damn fuel pump is proprietary. It's not like I can go anywhere and just get one for cheap. It doesn't really work like that. Jesse, what saw you want? You want a 394? I know, if you're like me, you want them all, right? I want them all too. It's not true. My 394, I would... These 394s I would part with. Especially if there are dead presidents involved. It's funny, I have not had too many people ask about the 394s, but I did get an inquiry today from somebody else. So Ken, here it is. Here's how you do it. This is a 30mm deep socket. Well, I don't know if this is how you do it, but this is a way to do it, certainly. So if you want to use the seals, or the aftermarket seals or whatever, this is the way to. This socket does not fit this super accurately. If you could make an aluminum bushing that would, it would press it better than it does as that is, but that'll be fine. Jesse, I have a 394, the one that I was using out on the mill a number of shows ago when I was cutting that big wide oak. That one that I was runs really good. I'll part with that one for $500 plus shipping. It looks all like hell, but internally it's nice. It's got a WJ39 carburetor on it too, I think, and it just idles beautiful. I think I have like 20. I probably have about 20 tanks through it. I'm having trouble fixing the 445 X torque. I'm back to the primer bulb. Okay. I will wish you best of luck with that, sir. Will this 346 be for sale? I was giving you wood blocks advice. You certainly could. Custom Cutter wants a 5.62 bad Waltz Ultimate Old Man Saw. Yeah, that would be a pretty. I mean, Walt had the right idea, I think, there for a nice saw. Will this 346 be for sale? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really need it. Literally, I had the carcass sitting out there, and I'm like, what I'm going to do with it? Might as well build it up. I got a lot of parts. I don't have all the parts, but I certainly have a lot of parts. So what's next? Actually, let's clean up the crank, because this crank is not clean. This is clearly not clean. That's a whole other, bit of time there to just clean that off, which I will go do. Okay, what goes back to the freezer here? I guess I can keep some 6202s in the freezer. Just for the hell of it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to keep my 6203s out. Fine bows with shipping. What bar and chain comes with the old girl? No bar and chain. That power head only. I have the problem with shipping a bar and chain that you'd want for that saw is that's a lot. The extra money for because the box changes shape, and you really want something like that. You want like a 32 or 36-inch bar. I have to check and see what I could do on a 32. Because I have a 32 Sujihara out there, which is beautiful. I got to see what kind of money for that. But the shipping goes up because the box changes size. And it looks old, but it isn't. Internally, it's, you know, new bearings and seals. Porting and timing on this one? Yes, porting and timing. Who? How much for the 346 cylinder kit and from who? It's the Warhawk kit from HL Supply. You have to look it up on HL and see what the money was. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty inexpensive, so I'm like, you know what, I might as well try it. I have the OEM kits. I've used the highway kits. So yeah, for sure I'm gonna go in. I mean, I don't run anything that's not ported. I'm not a professional porter, but I'm not going to run anything that's not ported. That's just kind of silly. And basically, as far as I'm concerned, all aftermarket heads really do need to be ported. Man, that does hit the spot tonight. This actually has real sugar and stevia instead of corn syrup in it. And if you have to have soda, you might try this. And no, I'm not getting paid to say that. There's no paid promotion there. It's very nice. Feeling sound electrical and head scratching, confusing. 350. I've seen fuel pumps act like we were experiencing and eventually quit. Yeah, Bill, it's very possible. It's the pump. So, you know, should I just change it for the hell of it and find, you know, like, I don't know. What am I going to do? I was going to clean this up. That's right. Some cranks are just, ugh, yucky. Jesse, I would love to throw in a bar, but I don't even have anything that's, you know, remotely close to throw inable. That's the problem. My Suja, I've tried to get rid of a lot of bars, except for the Sujaharas. So all those are worth real, you know, significant money. So what I'll do is I'll just go and clean this up with brake cleaner, but then get the WD-40 on it. Which is more of a solvent than a lubricant, which is exactly what you want here, right? Right, good. We're in agreement. A man has to try. I wouldn't mind trying to sweeten the deal, but I don't have a bar for you. Sorry. Might as well look and check and make sure the cage is not cracked anywhere. Nope. Nope, no crack in the cage, so that's good. A little more brake cleaner, and then a little more WD-40. We're ready to rock and roll. Put that right in my Coca-Cola, and we're good. Okay, so here's the thing with 350 cranks. Let's get a little grease here. A little bit of grease on the seal, that's fine. But here, watch this. So on the flywheel side, the bearing just kind of fits on. And that's it. Why is that tight? That is tight. A little bit of break-in necessary there. But on this side is that damn lip. So I was thinking, I forget who mentioned this. Somebody mentioned this, and it was a good idea, and I would love to credit them. I just forget who it was. This was not my idea. Somebody said, put an O-ring on it to help guide that lip, that seal over the lip. I was like, well, that's kind of an interesting idea. And that O-ring will not work. It's too thick. Somehow get one, stretch it, and stretch it thin so it thins out. I don't even know if that's possible with these. And I don't have a lot of other O-rings. I don't have anything else that'll work. Just bought an assortment of O-rings, but obviously this is not quite what I needed. Are you going to mill down? Yes, I'm going to mill down the block. But I need the head here, and I don't have the head here yet. I need the head here in order to do all the measurements, of course. See, even though it's stretched, it didn't stretch out far enough, and I don't think... Ooh. Well, now that's interesting. I don't think it's going to be that helpful, though. Nope. I'm always worried about these things. I've never had a problem with just pushing these on, but I'm always worried. You know? All right, well, just grease it. I like the idea for the O-ring, but I'm always worried about prolapsing the seal. That's that. Just press it. Nice and slow. So now that's installed. this will get 1184 in, of course. But there's your crank for a 350. Ta-da. Battery critically low. Uh-oh. Bring it over here. So yeah, going to make here, Jesse. Here's my email. Shoot me an email, and if I don't get back to you, you got the wrong email. 14 people, only one like. Hot Rod J21, what's going on, man? I'm just fiddling around with the 350 here, the 350 project rather. And it's going to go real slow. And I've got a 288 project coming. I don't know when. Kind of hoping by the end of the week. But it's the Brandon, I think. Were you the one that was going to bid against me on that one? Yeah, I don't know about a great project, but it's a project, you know? And keep you guys occupied. That way I got something to do with you guys. For a little while, anyway. Where did this... Where did I put that nut? Alright, put this away. Just gonna put some stuff away here. Oh, 30, okay. What kind of bearing? I put in generic bearings. They're just generics that I had sitting in the freezer. I don't remember what they were for or from, but I figured I'm using aftermarket seals anyway. I'll just use generic bearings. I have some OEM M1 sitting around, but this is getting an aftermarket head, a cheap aftermarket head, so this is not like a, oh, here it is. This is not an OEM, all OEM nice build, you know. This is just something that's gonna, we'll be able to fiddle with a little bit. This is actually an aftermarket riser block too. I had a bunch of these for some reason. Oh, this one is tapped. That one is tapped. Looks like for M6. And I happen to have, if I don't have to open that, it'll be better. M6. Let's see what I got here. I don't know if these are too long. These might be too long. These are head screws for sure, but if they are too long, then I will open these. Yeah. put this on here and see if it goes. Smaller O-ring, Matt. Are they chilled? That looked right. Yeah, I don't have a smaller O-ring. Is it flat and true, the riser? I don't know. Who knows? I mean, if you're really going for accuracy, then what you need is obviously to basically get their surface flat and then put it on a flat surface and then mill it flat also. I don't think we're going for that kind of accuracy. And then remember that it sits on a platform like that. So exactly how flat is that really going to be? Let's see here. So this tightens up. So no. So those are too long. Indeed, those are the wrong riser bolts. So then I don't know why I happen to have this, but way. Yeah, these are like inch long as opposed to an inch and a quarter or whatever. Okay, fine, I'll get an exact measurement. .25 millimeter, as opposed to the others are probably 30s. Yes, to flatten the base on the 350 using granite inspection block and some sandpaper. Unfortunately, it was after I had milled for squish. Yeah. It's funny. Whoops. The thing is, like, with all these, you can really just go all out in some areas, and you miss one dumb thing, and the saw doesn't run for crap. You're just like, oh, come on. Jesse, you just helped neighbor lady get over stuck. Ears are burning. Talk about suck. Ears are burning. I'm sorry, Jesse. 7 degrees is cold. That's cold. Actually, I'll just do this. I'm going to do what Walt does. And just put all these screws here. That way I don't lose them. Another fun thing to do with these is to fill in with JB Weld in here, which I will probably do because I did that on a couple other saws and it worked just fine. not seem to be running super smooth. Just want to clean these up. That's pretty clean. Then what I want to do is run my flat bottom tap in there. Because every little extra bit of length you can get here helps. One of the problems I tend to run into in these, indeed, is that the bolts end up bottoming out here before the cylinder head is cinched down. And I know I've mentioned this times, but you gotta pay attention to it. Alright, what else do I have to do tonight? I gotta clean that up, but I don't need to do that with you guys. Always have an M5 tap on tap. Okay. So, got the crank ready. I got that ready. And go that way. I hope you gave the bottom end a shot of WD-40. What bottom end? That bottom end? What am I shooting WD-40 in? How did I make it with the Volvo? IH guy, you missed it. I don't have a conclusion, but I cannot replicate the symptoms. That's basically where we're at. So yesterday, I actually went out after it cooled back down. I went back out and started it, and it started fine and ran fine again. The rev's fine. The problem is I can't replicate the symptoms of it stalling, at least not in the driveway. But I don't trust it enough to take it to work, you know? I just don't have the kind of time to like be able to stand around and wait for AAA, you know? Maybe some weekend when I have that kind of time, I'll take it around for a spin. And just run it around the block a few times and see what happens. It's either that or do I do the $400 gamble on the fuel pump, put the fuel pump in, and then drive it like I stole it. That's, one other option. Okay, so the next project we have coming, the OBD2 codes, there aren't any. And I can read OBD2 codes. That's not the problem. The problem is you need the Volvo diagnostics to give you fuel pressure and a bunch of other stuff. And again, I spent a lot of time trying to get that running, and I was not able to. So, and I run into parts not being true after assembly, made real screwy faces. So yeah, so the next job here coming is the 350, which I'll work on in pieces, and I've got a 288 on the way, which is going to be a very slow project, but we will fiddle with it. So it's done. Yes, I know. Gotta drive it like, well, you have to understand the Volvo, I bought that with 132,000 miles on it. It has 194,000 miles on it now. In the first year that I had it, I put 30,000 miles on it in 1 year. But I was under it every weekend doing something. So I have replaced all kinds of stuff on that thing. And just throwing parts at it and throwing parts at it and throwing parts at it. It's just so incredibly expensive to keep going at this point. Which is why I don't drive it that much. I spent $400 a month just in parts on the darn thing. Matt, what is your thoughts on the Husky and Steel auto-tune saws? Brandon, I like a screwdriver. So I think the auto-tune stuff has its place, but in general, it's not, it doesn't tend to be my thing. Right, that replaced anything you haven't replaced. Yeah, no, what you haven't done, I know. Just start replacing stuff, obviously. Yeah, it's kind of a problem child, but it also, believe it or not, that car was the thing that pushed me over the edge and convinced me. I'm convinced that if you drive a car on a constant basis, at a constant rate, and you need a you know, you need to get to work on time. If you have a job that necessitates you getting to work on time, I think you need to have a car payment. I know that that goes against all like logic of saving money, but you know, if I'm late to work one day, the amount of productivity that's affected is huge. So I need to have something that will get me to work, you know. Yourself a 5.3 Chevy pickup the ride sucks to the middle of the run. Yeah, I'm good. You know, I probably could use a truck. I probably could use a truck, but you know, what am I going to use it for? Going to get-togethers twice a year? So yeah, so 350 project, 288 project. Waiting. Oh, Eric, are you still here? I'm sorry, I ignored you, buddy. If Eric Briggs is still here, I didn't ignore you on purpose. I mean, just uh um minivan. Yeah, good, Edwin. Bill Eddings, you don't couldn't figure out, so you got it revved it wide open until he floated the valves. Although it never solved anything. Great. Yeah, if Eric is still here, oh, the we might actually be able to do this 394 air horn, but the metal inserts are pricey. Apparently, a quantity. I asked for a quantity of 1,000. To quote me for a quantity of 1,000, and they said the minimum quantity was 3,000 for those little things to be tooled up on a screw machine. I think that's darn close to insane, but whatever. And the price was insane at that level too. Would love your last name. What are the odds, Jesse? I'm not so sure I've ever met anybody else with that last name. Get an old VW Bug? No. I know. Parts aplenty, right? Adirondacks. Okay, so the progress on the Volvo is simple. I cannot replicate the symptoms of it stalling, at least not right now. So yesterday afternoon, I went back out and restarted it, and it restarted fine after it cooled down. Restarted fine. Um, I had it running for more than an hour just idling, and it ran there fine. And it revs fine, good power, good response. Drive it up and down the driveway a little bit, runs fine. Runs fine on an incline. I took the gas. I spent a lot of time yesterday getting the gas level down below half tank just to see if that was an issue. Nope, no problem. Fixed, right. Not reliable. Fixed, but not reliable. I didn't do anything to fix it. That's the thing. All right, it's almost 9 o'clock. I better get going. I figured I'd give you guys a little something tonight. Um, Ken, I hope the bearings there was helpful. That was just half-inch threaded rod there, putting those seals over the bearings. I don't exactly know when the 288 project's coming. My guess would be hopefully end of the week, maybe early next week, because it's coming from Canada, I guess. Jesse, I believe you. Send me an email. 394, yeah. I find a good deal in some steel cylinders for a 290 and a 210. Brandon, you're talking to the wrong guy. I hate the 290s. I just, with a passion, not my thing. Night, Tim. Don't get stuck in a blizzard, buddy. Bill says, "Not about me." You know, at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about what everybody else needs me. You know, and if I have to be there, then I can't be jerking around with this, that, the other thing. So unfortunately, I need a car payment. You know, whether it's a car is fancy or plain doesn't matter. It needs to get me there. Kurt Sheridan. Kurt, welcome. Thanks. Love the Bolt for Bolt vids. More info, the better. I've learned a lot. Fantastic. Happy to help. They're awfully boring to make. Oh my word. Every half hour of a bolt for bolt vid, which everybody just slogs through, every half hour is like 2.5, maybe 3 hours of raw footage that I've cut down. And it takes like 5 hours to edit all that stuff. So, glad you enjoy it. Ugh. They got a bad storm in western Georgia. Well, don't get caught out in it, Tim. Stay warm. I know you're in Georgia. I'll tell some people about those saws. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I've got two 394s to sell. If Jesse wants the older one though, then I'll keep one of these newer ones that I made, and then I just if somebody wants one of them, they can let me know. I had an email. The email I got today was about one of the 394s and the as is 372. So, whatever. Including those 394s there, I've got 16 chainsaws right now. I don't need them. I just don't need them. 7 to $17. Now you got a deal. That is a deal, Brandon. I still don't like the 290s, but for 17 bucks, those cylinder heads, if you go to buy a new one at Steel, they might charge you close to $300, which is just insane, of course. But I know that that's the kind of money that they were looking to get for those things. All right, so I better head out, guys. But welcome to Kurt. That's awesome. Oh, here's Kurt again. Hang on. 262 was taken down, completely rebuilt because of your series. Watch those boring things 20 times each. Wow. Ah, don't binge watch me. It's too boring. Too boring. I want one just trying to figure out how to find. It's right here, Jesse. Here, I'll give it to you right now. My buddy Dave is calling. No, Dave, not right now. Jesse, my email's right here. Just get rid of the ampersands. Just use one ampersand instead of all 5 there or whatever. And Matty05, the O in Matty05 is for Olson. It's not a number, it's a letter. So it's Matty05 at AOL.com. And if I don't respond fairly quickly, then you probably have the wrong email. I said just to leave them dumb. Okay. It's okay. I went to pick up my kids tonight, and my little guy, I saw him, and all that he does is hang his head, and I'm like, "What's the deal?" And I'm like, "Are you sad that it wasn't mommy that picked you up?" And yes, okay, burned. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, I gotta go put my kids to bed. Jesse, email me. Anybody else has any questions or wants tools or whatever, they can email me. And yeah, all good. Thanks, guys. I don't know whether I'll be on tomorrow night or not, but probably Wednesday. Almost for sure Wednesday. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Jesse, Brandon, Kurt. Welcome, and please come back often. Tim, have a great night. Anybody else a hot rod? I don't know who else I'm missing here. Everybody have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Take care, guys. Be safe, okay?